if DEA and Gang Task Force sees what's going on in San Antonio, maybe they'll clean some of the crap up. You know, Phoebe, unfortunately, this whole nation, the inner city towns and the suburbs, they all have this. It's not just common to San Antonio. It's common to every inner city, every suburb has a drug problem, you know, and it really exacerbates itself when we see the violence that's connected with the drug trade. And that's what we saw here. Tremendous violence connected with this drug trade. People that have no soul.
That someone is able to identify the individuals that are seen in this video.
The San Antonio Police Department putting out a plea for the public's help to find the two people seen in new video released today. Detectives believe they could be involved in Savannah Soto and Matthew Guerra's deaths.
Detectives are hopeful that surveillance video will lead to the events leading up to their death.
Police believe Savannah and Matthew were already dead when this video was taken. They think the two people seen in the footage wiped the car down to get rid of fingerprints before ditching it with Savannah and Matthew's bodies inside.
Detectives are also combing through social media and cell phone records to determine the last communications with the victims.
The relationship between these persons of interest and victims is still unclear. Bexar County District Attorney Joe Gonzalez says when the people responsible are captured, the nature of the crime can result in additional charges because of the young couple's unborn son, Fabian.
Under Texas law, that qualifies an unborn child during any period of gestation is a person under the Texas Penal Code for consideration in deciding whether or not to calculate, for example, more than one person.
District Attorney Gonzalez also hoping these people are found so his office can bring justice for the victims and their families.
That we're going to do everything humanly possible to hold this individual or individuals accountable.
Stephanie Escobar, News 4, San Antonio.
So again, we this is the only real semi-new thing we found out is that the shooting occurred at another location, and the bodies were dumped at a location. Not dumped; they were kept in the car, and the car was transported to this location. And they think potentially that video that we're all seeing, person of interest, that could be the shooter, or at least someone who's involved in moving this car from one location to another. So that's, I'm going to put it back up on the screen. That's so important. And as I said, there's a good chance that
plea for the public's help.
There's a good chance that this shooter or this car, this license plate is identified. So these people potentially could be brought in when the police are ready to move on to that level of the investigation, but they may not be ready yet. And again, as I said, they may know who these people are. They may know who the players are. I spoke earlier about the brother of Savannah Soto being shot and killed in 2022. One of the first things I would do as an investigator, I'd get that case folder, pull that up on my computer screen and read it from cover to cover and find out who the players are in there. Because as I said, drug dealing is local. This could be some of the same players involved in that case. And I'm not saying the actual shooting had anything to do with her brother's homicide, but the players may be the same. Guess what? Some of the players involved in that case may be on parole. What do we know about people that are on parole? Pull their ass in. They can't refuse to come in. Will they help you? That remains to be seen. But pull them off the street. Start talking to them. Where were you? What do you know about this? And potentially, guess what? Most parolees don't want to go back into the big house. So the police have a little bit of leverage over these parolees and pull them out of that case folder.
Yeah, Billy, and you and I were also talking, is it possible that this shooting was maybe revenge because Ethan Soto was killed and then his back in 2022, Nathaniel Rivas is serving time, but during the trial, the Soto family actually in the middle of court attacked the defendant, Rivas. And so perhaps this may be friends and allies of Rivas getting back at Soto and her and Guerra, and they did a double hit on them. it's possible. There's, you can't, these sorts of things, there's these grudges are held and there's got to be payback, and payback is bad. She might have been the intended target, or perhaps Matthew actually was the intended target and they had to kill her because you can't have any sort of witness to the crime survive. So she may have been in the wrong place at the wrong time with him when he was actually the target, or it could be that she might have been the target of both of them at the same time. It's going to be hard to tell, but the two homicides may be connected. And you're right. It's only been, 18 months, 22 months perhaps, since Ethan was killed. And these people many of them still may be out on the street and free. And maybe they're not in prison, or maybe they're out on parole, but they're still probably local.
Absolutely. Folks, this is Police Off the Cuff, real crime stories. If you like real crime, true crime from a police perspective, then you're in the right place. And if you're not subscribed to us, go on our YouTube, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell, and share it out to your family, friends, and everyone you know. Bring them into the Police Off the Cuff family. If you want to contribute to us financially, we have a Patreon with 3 different levels, and we also have a YouTube channel membership with, count 'em, 5 different levels. And you could contribute to the Police Off the Puff, or I'm losing my mind, Off the Cuff podcast. And we'd love to have you guys here. And this is real crime from an experienced perspective. We've done this work before. We've been out there. We've heard shots fired. Most of us have been shot at. So we know what the gunpowder smells like. Not that that's something that you want to aspire to, that haven't gotten shot at, but we're still here. Anyway, some of when I talk about the investigative resources, we spoke about the victimology on Matthew Guerra. Of course, that's studying his whole background. We already mentioned his criminal history. Victimology on Savannah Soto. And one of the things we found out, of course, from checking her victimology and her family, is that her brother was shot to death in 2022. That's important. That's very important. The video canvas in this, so important. Do they know the route that the vehicle took? The vehicle belonging to Matthew Guerra? Do they know that yet? We don't know it, but do they potentially know that? They could potentially know that. Very important. Because why? Because when the vehicle travels a certain way, now they have more video they can collect and possibly identify the shooter or shooters that did this.